Welcome to the morgue. Usually we examine small tragedies here. A breakup, a manipulator, a toxic family role. But today, the body on the slab isn't a person. It is an era. Look at the symptoms. You feel it, don't you? The background radiation of anxiety. The sense that everyone is shouting, but no one is listening. The feeling that stability is a luxury your parents had, but you will never afford. We call this modern life. We call it the grind. But in forensic pathology, we call it systemic organ failure. We are going to perform a social autopsy on the world you live in. We are going to cut open the workplace, the economy, and the city itself to find out who killed human connection. It wasn't an accident. It was a slow poisoning. The poison is a mixture of shallowness, fear, and a specific type of cruelty that has become so normal we don't even have a name for it anymore. Put on your gloves. Let's open the first incision. Time of death, 9:00 a.m. Monday morning. Cause of death, corporate gaslighting. We spend 90,000 hours of our lives at work. And for most of us, the modern workplace is a psychological experiment designed to break you. Let's look at the organs. 1. The "we are a family" lie. Dark psychology rule number 1. Confusion creates compliance. Companies love to say, "We are a family here." This is a calculated manipulation. In a family, you don't fire your brother because he had a bad quarter. In a family, love is unconditional. By using the word family, they are hacking your loyalty. They are asking for the emotional devotion of a blood relative in exchange for a transactional paycheck. When you inevitably burn out, the family will replace you before your obituary is printed. This isn't management. It's a cult tactic. 2. The architecture of exclusion. Sexism and xenophobia. Now, let's peel back the skin. Underneath the diversity and inclusion posters, we find deep structural bruising. The modern workplace is an engine of epistemic gaslighting. This is when a system forces you to doubt your own reality. If you are a woman and you report harassment, you are often told, "You're misinterpreting it. He's just friendly." If you have a foreign accent or a difficult name, your competence is quietly downgraded. You become hard to work with. This isn't just mean, it is a dominant strategy. By keeping certain groups in a state of constant low-grade insecurity, the system ensures they work twice as hard for half the respect. It extracts maximum value from your anxiety. 3. The disposable human, the final pathology, the precarity trap. Modern work has removed the floor. Layoffs used to be a sign of company failure. Now they are a sign of efficiency. This creates a state of hypervigilance. Your brain is constantly scanning for threats. Did I reply fast enough? Is my name on the list? You cannot form deep connections with your coworkers because, deep down, you know they are competitors for the last life raft. Shallowness isn't a personality flaw. It's a survival mechanism. You keep your interactions surface level because it hurts less to say goodbye to a stranger than to a friend. The verdict for Case 001. The workplace didn't just die. It was murdered by a system that views empathy as an inefficiency. But if you think the office is cold, wait till you go outside. We have left the office. You are now in public. This used to be called a community. Now it is a transit zone. Look at the body. Time of death. Gradual decay over the last 20 years. Cause of death. Defensive urbanism. Humans are social primates. We are designed to live in groups of 150. But in the modern city, you will pass 10,000 people today, and you will not make eye contact with a single one. To your brain, this is not freedom. This is a high-threat environment. Let's examine the wounds. 1. The architecture of hostility. Look at where you are standing. The city itself is designed to repel human life. We call this hostile architecture. Notice the benches. They are slanted so you can't rest too long. Notice the spikes under the bridge. This design language sends a subconscious message to your amygdala. Loitering is a crime. Existence without spending money is a crime. It teaches us that our neighbors, the poor, the tired, the struggling, are not people to be helped. They are pests to be deterred. When you walk past a homeless person and feel nothing, that isn't just you being cold. That is compassion fatigue. Your brain cannot process that much suffering, so it shuts down the empathy center entirely. You become a sociopath by necessity. 2. The surveillance state of gender, sexism in the wild. Now, let's look at the cortisol levels in the blood. For half the population, the public square is not a shared space. It is a hunting ground. If you are a man, you walk through the city thinking about your destination. If you are a woman, you are running a constant background program called threat assessment. Is that guy following me? Is my Uber driver taking the right turn? Why is he looking at me like that? This is the hidden tax of sexism. It is a cognitive load. While men are thinking about their careers, women are forced to dedicate 20% of their mental RAM to basic survival. This isn't paranoia, it is pattern recognition. And when you live in a state of permanent hypervigilance, you cannot connect. You cannot relax. You are a soldier on patrol in your own neighborhood. 3. The xenophobia reflex. The other is the enemy. When resources feel scarce, when rent is high, and jobs are unstable, the human mind reverts to tribalism. We look for a scapegoat. In the modern city, this manifests as the stranger danger reflex. We don't see a fellow citizen. We see a competitor. We see someone who doesn't look like us or sound like us, and the primitive brain whispers, threat. This is why xenophobia rises when the economy falls. It is a defense mechanism for a frightened animal. We retreat into digital silos where everyone agrees with us because the physical world has become too unpredictable. We trade the messiness of real human connection for the safety of an echo chamber. 4. The death of the third place. Finally, look at the stomach. It's empty. Sociologists talk about the third place. First place is home. Second place is work. The third place is where community happens. The cheap diner, the park bench, the local pub. These are places where you can exist without an invitation and without a lot of money. They are dying. They have been replaced by consumption zones. If you don't have $10 for a latte, you don't get to sit down. This creates transactional loneliness. You only interact with people when money is changing hands. The barista speaks to you because he has to. The Uber driver speaks to you for a rating. Genuine, accidental connection? That is extinct. The verdict for Case 002, the public square died of asphyxiation. We squeezed the life out of our cities by monetizing every square inch of ground. We built a world where we are surrounded by millions, yet entirely alone. We have examined the office. We have examined the street. Now we must go deeper. We must cut open the mind itself. This is where the real damage lives. This is where the external world becomes an internal parasite. Time of death, every single day. The moment you wake up. Cause of death, internalized capitalism. Let's look at the brain tissue. Do you feel that low hum of panic? Even if you have a job, even if you have savings, you feel like you are one bad month away from ruin. Psychologists call this the scarcity mindset. It is a tunneling effect. When you believe resources are scarce, your IQ actually drops. Your brain loses bandwidth. You stop planning for the future and start obsessing over the immediate threat. Can I afford this coffee? Should I take that extra shift? Why did my friend get a promotion and I didn't? This isn't just anxiety. This is a survival program running in a safe environment. The modern economy keeps you in a state of artificial hunger, so you will keep hunting. You are running from a predator that doesn't exist. Now, look at the heart. It used to beat for joy. Now, it beats for return on investment. We have been infected by a uniquely modern disease, the monetization of the self. You can't just have a hobby anymore. Do you like baking? You should open a shop. Do you like gaming? You should stream on Twitch. Do you like writing? Where is your Substack? We have been trained to view any activity that doesn't make money as a waste of time. This kills the intrinsic motivation. The moment you put a price tag on your joy, it becomes labor. You are not a person with interests. You are a small business with a pulse. You have become your own boss and your own exploited worker. Let's examine the face, or rather, the mask. In the old world, you had a reputation. In the new world, you have a personal brand. You are constantly curating your life for an audience that doesn't care. You post the vacation photos to prove you are happy. You post the gym selfies to prove you are disciplined. You post the political rant to prove you are virtuous. This is performative existence. You are acting out the role of a successful human instead of actually being one. And the tragedy? The more you polish the brand, the lonelier the human underneath becomes. Because you know that people love the avatar, not you. Finally, look at the nervous system. It is fried. Why do you feel guilty when you sit down? Why does a Sunday afternoon feel like a crime? This is productivity dysmorphia. You have tied your self-worth to your output. If you aren't producing, you don't exist. Rest is no longer a biological necessity. It is a reward you have to earn, and you never feel like you've earned it. The verdict for case 003, the inner life didn't die of natural causes. It was cannibalized. We ate our own peace of mind to feed the economy. We sold our quiet moments for engagement, thinking about the answer. Case 004, the habitat, the concrete cage. We have examined the mind. Now, we must examine the cage. Humans love to forget a simple biological fact. We are animals. We are primates. Great apes. We evolved to walk 10 miles a day, breathe unfiltered air, and scan horizons. Put a tiger in a 10 by 10 concrete box and it goes insane. Put a human in a 500 square foot apartment with no view of the sky, and we call it luxury living. Time of death, the moment we poured the first sidewalk. Cause of death, habitat mismatch. Let's look at the pathology of the captive animal. 1. The zoo hypothesis. Why we pace. Zoologists have a term for what happens to animals in captivity. Stereotypy. Repetitive, purposeless movements. The elephant swaying its head. The bear pacing the fence. It is a sign of extreme psychological distress. The brain is trying to stimulate itself in a dead environment. Now, look at yourself. Leg shaking under the desk? Doom scrolling for 3 hours without reading a single word? Chewing your nails until they bleed? These are human stereotypies. We are pacing the cage. We are captive primates exhibiting stress behaviors because our environment offers zero biological satisfaction. We are bored, safe, and slowly going mad. 2. Sensory pollution, the torture of noise. Now check the ears. In nature, silence is the baseline. Noise means danger, a predator, a storm. In the modern city, silence does not exist. We live in a soup of anthropogenic noise. Sirens, traffic, the hum of the fridge, the notification ping. Your conscious mind ignores it, but your autonomic nervous system does not. Every siren spikes your cortisol. Every ping prepares you for a fight. You are being microdosed with adrenaline 24 hours a day. This is low-grade torture. It destroys sleep quality. It spikes blood pressure. You are tired because your body thinks it is living in a war zone. 3. The fractal starvation, why rectangles hurt. Look at the eyes. The human eye evolved to process fractals, the self-repeating complex patterns found in nature. Leaves, clouds, coastlines. Looking at fractals actually reduces stress by 60%. It is visual opium for the primate brain. Now, look out your window. Straight lines, sharp angles, flat gray surfaces. Modern architecture is fractal-free. Processing these unnatural geometries requires more oxygen and metabolic energy from the brain. Looking at a city literally makes your brain work harder just to understand what it is seeing. This is visual stress. We built a world that is ugly to our own biology. 4. The loss of seasonality, eternal summer. Finally, look at the circadian rhythm. We used to be connected to the earth. We felt the cold of winter and the heat of summer. Now, we live in the eternal 72 degrees. Climate control has severed our connection to time itself. We eat strawberries in December. We wear t-shirts in January indoors. We have flattened the peaks and valleys of existence into a flat, comfortable line. Without the struggle of the elements, we lose our resilience. We become soft, anxious creatures, terrified of being slightly too hot or slightly too cold. We have conquered nature, and in doing so, we have orphaned ourselves. The verdict for Case 004, the habitat is hostile. We are not living in a civilization. We are living in a high-tech zoo, and the zookeepers are us. Case 005, the social contract. We have examined the organs. We have examined the environment. Now, we must look at the connective tissue, the invisible glue that holds a civilization together. Time of death, sometime around 2010. Cause of death, total systemic trust failure. A society is not just a collection of people. It is a promise. I will not hurt you. You will not hurt me. We will build something together. That promise has been broken. Let's look at the blood work. It is toxic. 1. The atomization. The neighbor is a ghost. In 1950, you knew your neighbor's name, their job, and their dog. Today, the neighbor is a potential threat. We have achieved social atomization. We have retreated into our private fortresses. We get our food delivered without speaking to a human. We get our entertainment on demand without leaving the couch. We have engineered the friction out of life. But friction was where the connection lived. The awkward conversation at the store? That was community. Now we are smooth, efficient, and completely isolated. We are ghosts haunting the same zip code. 2. The trust deficit. Everyone is a scammer. Check the immune system. It is attacking itself. Why don't you answer your phone anymore? Because 90% of the time it is a robot trying to steal your identity. We are living in a low-trust society. We assume that every interaction is a potential predation. What do they want from me? Is this a grift? Is this news real? When you cannot trust the information you see or the people you meet, your brain stays in defense mode forever. You become cynical not because you want to be, but because you have to be. Cynicism is the immune response to a fraudulent world. 3. The prognosis. Radical localism. So, is the patient dead? Yes. Society with a capital S is dead. The global village is too big, too loud, and too broken to fix. But the tribe is not. The cure is not political. It is biological. Radical localism. You cannot save the world, but you can save your street. You can invite one person for coffee, not to network, just to exist. You can turn off the news that makes you angry about things you can't control and fix the fence that is actually broken. Shrink your world until it is manageable again. Build a micro-society of 5 people you actually trust. That is the only lifeboat left. The autopsy is complete. The cause of death was multiple organ failure. The self was eaten by the economy. The habitat was replaced by a cage. The community was dissolved into data. But here's the twist. You are not the corpse. You are the medical examiner. You are the one standing over the body, holding the scalpel. You see the disease now. You understand the pathology, which means you can choose not to be infected. Walk out of the morgue, get some sunlight, touch grass, talk to a stranger, and for God's sake, turn off this video. Dark Mind Files. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video.